Take a quiet moment before we begin. Imagine standing under a vast night sky filled with stars. The universe stretches endlessly above you, silent and mysterious. Humans have looked at that same sky for thousands of years, asking questions about life, existence, and the meaning of everything around them. One of the most powerful questions people have ever asked is simple but profound. What does God look like? Across cultures, languages, and civilizations, people have tried to imagine the nature of God. Some believe God has a form, while others believe God exists beyond any physical shape or image. This question has inspired philosophers, scientists, theologians, and thinkers throughout human history. It touches the deepest part of human curiosity. To explore this question, we must first understand something important. Different religions and traditions describe God in different ways. Some traditions describe God using human language and imagery, while others teach that God cannot be seen or represented at all. For example, in the monotheistic tradition of Islam, God is known as Allah and is believed to be beyond human imagination. Islamic theology teaches that no image or physical representation can capture the true nature of God. Instead, believers understand God through divine attributes such as mercy, knowledge, power, and wisdom. Similarly, many teachings in Judaism emphasize that God is invisible and cannot be represented by physical images. The focus is on understanding God's presence through moral guidance, sacred texts, and spiritual experience. In Christianity, believers often speak of God in personal terms, describing God as loving, compassionate, and guiding. Christian theology also includes the belief that God revealed himself through the life and teachings of Jesus Christ. However, even within Christianity, theologians often explain that the true nature of God is beyond human comprehension. Other religious traditions approach the idea of God differently. In Hinduism, divine reality can be expressed through many forms and symbols. Some believers worship specific deities representing different aspects of divine power, while others focus on a universal spiritual reality known as Brahman. In Buddhism, the focus is less on a creator God and more on understanding consciousness, suffering, and enlightenment. The historical teacher Gautama Buddha encouraged people to explore the nature of the mind and reality through meditation and insight. These different traditions show something fascinating about humanity. Humans often try to understand the divine using language, symbols, and stories. But many philosophers argue that the ultimate nature of reality may be beyond the limits of human imagination. Throughout history, thinkers have explored this mystery. One of the most influential philosophers who examined the idea of God was Thomas Aquinas. Aquinas argued that humans cannot fully understand God directly, but they can learn about God by observing the universe and its order. Similarly, the philosopher Baruch Spinoza proposed an unusual idea. He suggested that God might not be a separate being, but rather the fundamental reality of nature itself. In his view, the universe and its natural laws reflect the presence of the divine. Even modern scientists sometimes discuss questions about the universe that overlap with philosophical ideas about God. The scientific field, known as cosmology, studies how the universe began and how it evolves over time. One widely accepted scientific explanation for the origin of the universe is the Big Bang. According to this theory, the universe began approximately 13.8 billion years ago in an extremely hot and dense state and has been expanding ever since. Some thinkers interpret the existence of the universe itself as raising deeper questions. Why does the universe exist at all? Why do the laws of physics allow stars, planets, and life to form? These questions do not automatically prove the existence of God, but they encourage philosophical reflection. The famous scientist Albert Einstein once spoke about a sense of wonder when observing the universe. Although Einstein did not believe in a traditional personal God, he often described a profound feeling of awe toward the order and harmony of nature. This feeling of wonder is something many humans experience. When people look at galaxies, mountains, oceans, or even the complexity of life itself, they sometimes feel that the universe contains a deeper meaning or intelligence. But the central question remains, what does God actually look like? Many religious teachers respond to this question by saying that God does not have a physical appearance in the way humans do. Humans live within space and time, but many religious traditions describe God as existing beyond space and time. In other words, asking what God looks like might be similar to asking what gravity or time looks like. These realities shape the universe, but they are not visible objects with shapes or colors. The search to understand God, therefore, becomes less about physical appearance and more about understanding qualities such as wisdom, justice, creativity, and compassion. Throughout history, people have tried to connect with the divine through prayer, meditation, art, and reflection. Sacred architecture, music, and literature often attempt to express something that words alone cannot fully capture. Perhaps the most remarkable part of this journey is that the question itself continues to inspire exploration. Humans have always searched for meaning beyond everyday life. And whether one approaches the question through religion, philosophy, or science, the mystery of existence remains one of the most profound experiences in human thought. Looking up at the night sky again, you might realize something important. The question about what God looks like may not have a simple answer, but the search for understanding has inspired humanity to think deeply, act compassionately, and explore the universe with curiosity. And perhaps the beauty of the question lies not only in the answer, but in the journey of thinking, learning, and wondering. Thank you for listening.